Hi, this is Stuart Emerson and welcome to the Virtual Assistant online video training system. Well, we're in Open Office Calc and we've got our original spreadsheet from the previous lesson. Let's go a bit further and really add in some great effects and really add some more meaning to this data. What we're going to do is put in a line, insert a line here, a row, and let's add in some cost to make these figures meaningful. Because the reality is you have revenue and you also have costs. So we're going to go to data validity, add in a list of different costs. So we could have taxation, sales bonus, total cost. Because we're going to do a graph later, we'll probably look to run with the total cost. So I'm going to go down, pull on total cost, and now I'm going to enter in some cost figures. Now notice that I put in the negative figure, which is really important just to make that figure a proper negative figure. So that will then net off well and properly. With financials or figures, it's really important that we get the information correct and accurate. So, and with that, it's every figure. We must double check and look at every figure. So we've got our total costs in. What we need to do now is to adjust our formula. If we look up at the formula that says B3 to B6, which is really these cells, it's not including the cost. So I'm going to change the sum to now include B7. Now watch the value go down. So I'll copy that. I'll do it here so it's more visible. I'm going to copy that and then go across here and then paste that into the other cells. And see all the figures go down, and even the grand total figure went down as well. Alright, so we've got those figures in place. Let's now look at some different graph options. I'm going to click on graph. Now what I'll do just to show you quickly is I'm going to show you the pie chart, and we get some of the values, but in this case it's really hard to compare the different costs, and we don't have the salespeople really shown there. So what I'm going to do is backtrack from that, select my range again, and the pie chart can be really useful. In this case what we're going to do is look to take in, and wait a minute, I need to get my, I'm just going to change this now to net total, because it's not just a sales total, it's a net total. So I've got my total figures in. Now I'm going to click on the graph. Now I'm going to stay with the column graph or the stack bar chart. I'm going to move it across, give it a room for a total, and now we've got all the column headers and the row headers. Just going to move it across so we have room for everything. Now see the difference in this stack bar chart is that we've got the salespeople here, but we also have the other information, which is the quarters and indicating the cost, which we can see going down negative. So then in all our figures, I'm just going to reduce this down a little bit. In all our figures we can see everything is there, it's accurate, and it's included. Now what I'm going to do here is just click on those two cells and merge them. Now I'm going to pull out my properties tab. Oh, one of those cells merged. Okay. I'm coming down here, putting that in, and all those cells are merged as well. So I'm just changing this title. It's not the sales team figures, but the sales team's graph by quarter. So I just push that properties tab back there. So what we have now, just going to shrink that down a little bit, just so that we can see everything. We have all our figures now nicely presented. We put in cost to make the net sales figures real. Revenue figures are useful, sales revenue, but really you need the cost to really get the net. The net are really the real figures in terms of have you really made money and so forth. Now what we've done here is we've now accurately graphed everything for all the 4 salespeople and also for the quarters, including the cost and the net total, which includes the cost as well. So everything's there and included. Some final touches to go through is that there's the customizable toolbars here. So I'll just show you what I mean in terms of customizable. What I've done here is that I switched off italic and double underline. I'll just switch them back on, but these are fairly old and ancient settings that aren't really used so much. Let me just save that. So see, now you've got italic and double underline, but very rarely used. So this is one way to customize your toolbar and just put in, make sure what's in there is really what you're using all the time. You don't need to see functions or buttons you're not going to use or which really aren't relevant to your work. Alright, now I put in rows and columns because rows settings for plus and to delete, because I rarely do that with columns, and columns is very easy. Alright, that's just a final check on the customizable toolbars. Well, I think the finished result, we've got negative figures to get a real accurate net total, and then we've graphed that beautifully in a stack bar chart, which is accurate and just rests perfectly right under the figures. So it's very easy to see the graph and quickly interpret and compare the salespeople by quarter and for the entire year of 2018. I hope you found this session was useful on Open Office Calc, moving into some of the more advanced features. Thank you for your time.